Sorry about that. That wasn't the way I wanted to start this. Hi. That's the way I like to start things. Hi. So, I need to do that one today, the Disneyland one. But I'm going to do this, for now because there's a very good reason for that. Um, when I do Disneyland, I tend to try to build I build the outside front of the building. The back and the inside doesn't really matter because I can't really build it. I don't know what it looks like. And some of it ends up being way too small to actually be a store. But anyway, but I tend to ignore my audience with that one. So I'm going to do this, and then off stream I'll do that. But I will show you what I did. Okay. So we're going to go in here real quick though, so I can show you what it looks like now. And I don't know why, but I've decided that when you go to Disneyland, you start on the outside. So come on. So I just got done doing the litter boxes, and I haven't had anything to eat, so I'm having a little bit of leftover Halloween candy. We had full-size chocolate bars, so okay. Obviously this says Disneyland, and it says do not enter show ticket to ticket taker. You go over here. Look, I've got a wristband thing saying I can come in here anytime I want. When it's open. We're going to go left this time because then you can see the train. Yeah, I know. The engine just does not look right, but still, it's really cool. We even have teddy bears. Pretend those are Winnie the Poohs. Well, Winnie the Poohs and Duffy's. And these are I want to say one of them's Lulabelle, but I'm not entirely sure. Gelatoni. Like Gelatoni and it's Duffy and Friends, but like for Japan. And these are like all the rage over there. And as soon as Chris from Park Pass came up with that, I was like, yeah, this is Duffy and Friends. It's got to be, And more teddy bears. I don't know that the roof actually stuck out that much, but the teddy bears had to be safe. This is the train station from this side. It looked a lot better last time. I don't know what I did wrong. I will probably end up fixing it. Those curtains, or yeah, I think they're curtains. See, they even flap in the breeze. Isn't it cool? Anyway, those are from my add-on. And so are the teddy bears and, Duffy and Friends. Oh, you know what? I will just show it to you this way. That's Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln. There's supposed to be a lion up there, but I decided to make a Mickey a lot easier. See, like I said, the inside, I don't know what it looks like, so... And I was surprised to see that this looks like a beach house. Really does. That's the Emporium. That's the firehouse. We'll see that later. Um, the little movie theater. I think it's got a something here, but I haven't built that yet. That is a room with all the lockers. Because, like when you say locker room, I'm just not sure what to call it, because when you have a locker room, it usually has a lot of sweaty guys about to, do some football or soccer or, whatever sport guys like. I mean, people like. I was going to leave it at guys, but Serena Williams plays tennis. So, I don't have very much of. Oh, that's set up for Halloween from last year. The firehouse. Bathroom. Town hall. If not, that is. I think this area is a lot bigger than it's supposed to be because, it's Minecraft, it's gotta fit. That is the building where there is a sign right about here, right about here, that says lost parents. If you have lost your, parents in the park somewhere, you go there and you tell them, hey, I lost my parents. And you might find them in there. There, we're gonna fly because it'll be a heck of a lot faster. And I'm hoping this helps somebody. Like when they go to Disneyland, maybe it'll help somebody. Anyway, somewhere over there at the end of Main Street. Yeah, I know. Just use your imagination. It's there. I mean, it'll be there. Anyway, over here somewhere is a long pathway, and the building's kind of in the background. But if you go to that building, that is another lost parents spot. And if you get, I don't know if this is for, all of them, but, like I said, I don't know if it's for all of them. But the guy, my brother and sister kept walking off. This was in the year 2000. They were like 11 and 12. But they're like, I don't want to wait in line, So, we're going to go up there and we're going to see the train real quick. They're like, we don't want to wait in this big old long line. See, we even have a whole bunch of bench seating up here. So, like, if you're one of the special ones, you can come up here and watch that parade go by. So, anyway, my brother ended up at the lost parents, and he's sitting there eating a hot dog. That's what I'm not sure of. I don't know if that's like an obligation that, a thing that they have to do, or a thing that he chose to be nice and do. I don't know. But, the fact that he did it, I thought that was awesome. And I will probably give that guy a shout out forever. I wish I knew his name. I wish I had been. I wish I had been focused on, being a great content creator then, but I was just recording it for my own self. So, I don't know how we did this because usually I have this right up here. So, I must have extended this from here to there or figured out that I did something wrong before. I don't know what. But anyway, these are the seats. And this is where you walk. And it's not actually that severe. It's, like this is halfway down. But we couldn't do that because when we run this, see, it's going to go through like that. And I made sure that my guy, my avatar, whatever you call him, my little Minecraft dude, I made sure that she could go under that in a minecart. So we have it going, it's going to go from this area over here. Oh, that's the back of America Sings. No, Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln. Anyway, it's going to go from here. We'll do that. And no, of course not. Why would we? And why would we have it in here either? Yeah, really, why? Why would we have it? No idea, but it seemed to make sense to me that we'd have it. It'll make sense in a little bit here. Actually, that should probably cut across over here. But right now it doesn't. And okay, so I think we have, I'm not entirely sure, all of our stuff in here. You know what? That smells really good. I'm gonna take a bite. I took it out and then I didn't bother to eat it. So, and I do apologize. I'm not able to share. Okay, so I think these are add-on things specifically. Yeah. You're probably wondering. You're probably wondering why I did that. I'm not entirely sure. And I think that's cool because somewhere in the Matterhorn there's supposed to be a I don't remember having any other places for chests. I wonder if I do. Anyway, at one point I was gonna have the the track go around the back there, and then I was like, well, no, it doesn't go around the back, so why would we have it go back there? So I decided not to. Oh, and yeah, I kind of decided that's, like sunblock, a little robot, maybe Donald and Daisy. I don't know. It is dark out here and it's foggy. I don't know why it's so foggy. But look, he looks a little funny, but he really does look a little funny because he looks like he has one of those Russian hats on. I think it's Russian. The big furry hat. Not the Shako that the British guards do. Not them. But the big furry hat. Anyway, I guess I gotta keep their head warm somehow. So it looks like that, but just pretend that is an Abraham Lincoln hat. Okay? And then there's Abraham Lincoln. And because I didn't want to have to rebuild him again, he's got something in his hand, but there's this chair, and he better not ever throw his chair. I will be so mad if he does. The only problem is that now it's also Walt Disney. And I'm not entirely sure how to build Walt Disney right now. And does Walt Disney have a chair? I don't. No, he doesn't. He's got like a desk thing that he's standing at. It's not quite a desk. Anyway, we're going out the left side again, which would be the right side if we were coming in. But anyway, we're going to go out the left side. I can't think of a dang place where I would have put another chest, even temporarily, so... Oh. Wait a minute. So you go out this way. And then you go down this way to your hotel room. The hotel has not been built yet. In fact, just to keep the animals out, we put up, see, cows. There are no cows across the street from Disneyland, but we have cows. But anyway, just to keep them out, we did that. Just to keep the horse, the chicken, all of that. Just to keep all that out. The sheep. We did that. So we're going to stand right here in the middle of the word California to keep out of the rain. And we're going to go to the other. Hi again. Okay, so I was gonna get more of this done. I really was. I promise I was gonna get more of this done. But I think the last time I was building anything on here, no, No, it might have been yesterday. But, like, I didn't get anything done on Saturday. At least I don't think I did. Because we went to the Nevada Day Parade. And, okay, so I recorded part 1 on my phone. I recorded part 2 and 3 on my husband's phone. I recorded part 4, 5, and 6 on my phone, and then it died. So, like part 7 and 8, maybe 9, got recorded on his phone until it overheated. It was probably only about 73 outside and it overheated. What? I think, okay, so we're supposed to be getting new phones because our internet is not as strong as it was promised to be. Literally, I had to wait over 20 minutes or about 20 minutes for 2 videos to finish loading, and I posted them to load on the 1st when when we recorded all these videos. I posted those to upload on the 1st, and they did not get done until today. No, that needed a better upgrade than upgrading our phones. Well, they're upgrading them for free. So, they're like $799 or something like that. And they're upgrading them for free. So that's pretty good. It's still not a help. It's still not perfectly helping, but at least, the guy tried. He really did. And he said that he was gonna subscribe to both of our channels, and he thought that this was really, that it was really cool that we're content creators, so he really wanted to help us. And we were able to play together yesterday, me and my husband, so that was awesome. Then all of a sudden it started playing its wacky doodle games where my husband can't be in the party for some reason. We were playing with our son Squibs. Remember, that's not his name, that's his gamer tag. Part of his gamer tag. It's just got some numbers to it, but until he tells me, yeah, you can share the whole thing on stream, I'm not going to do it. Anyway, so basically, we're playing with Squibs, and for a while there, I was the host of the game and the chat, and then all of a sudden, one of the two of them had to go and start a chat, and I don't know who was the host of the game. Maybe my husband? I think my husband. So I thought that was really weird. But anyway, we were streaming for almost 6 hours. That is not typical. I try to make smaller videos. But But you might notice that when I'm playing, I am sometimes I'll be a guy character, sometimes I'll be a girl character. They share the same rank, they share the money. I don't like that part where they're sharing the money, but um, it'll be okay. But but yeah, so on um Nevada Day is actually Halloween, but they always have the parade on a Saturday. So Halloween was on a Friday this year, 2025. Halloween was on a Friday this year. So they had the parade on the 1st. And I was kind of upset because we did miss one thing that I was very interested in because I didn't know what the heck they were talking about. And I wanted to record it so I could show all of you. And I didn't get to see it. Rock drilling. Rock drilling. We didn't get to see that. But we got to see the little craft. Okay. So starting out, video 1 is the hot air balloons, and they were literally right outside our house, going right down our street, practically, in the air, but going right down our street. It was so cool. And I remembered that I could zoom in while I was recording, so I'm like, that's the Remax one, but you can't really see it. And then I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I can zoom in. So I did, and I'm like, see? But then I was trying to record one that was, I was trying to record one that was, like, over across the street. And it was way too close. So it was like extreme close up. Anyway, so that's part 1. But then part 2 was a little craft fair down the street from our house. Well, one street over and across the street at the mall. It's not one of those, where it's got an inside. I mean, it's got an inside, but it's not, it's not like the typical 2-story mall that you see in, like, say, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's pretty much an outdoor mall that happens to have an inside element to it. Which is very handy when it's raining outside. But anyway, and they got some places to eat over there too. But anyway, so the little craft fair got recorded on my husband's phone, and the car show happened to be in that same parking lot too, at the mall. So we record that with my husband's phone too. Now, we don't exactly know how to get his videos onto my computer or my videos onto his YouTube. But we're going to figure it out as soon as we can, and then you'll be able to see the whole entire thing exactly the way that we recorded it. Because this morning, before stream, I figured out how to reorder the videos in my playlist so they actually play in order. So I was really happy about that. That was after I said there should be a button to do that. like, well, there is a button to do that. Now, if if they contact me back about that, I'm gonna be like, okay, I did find the button, but it should be more obvious. All I'm asking is that for it to be a little more obvious, or like you click on the playlist and you can reorder it right there. I mean, you can reorder videos when you have them in the watch later list. So like, as an example, I watch a Minecraft guy named Loverfella. And I don't know why he chose that name. I think he told why he chose that name, but in a vague sense, so you didn't really understand. Or maybe he just said, I don't know why I chose it. I don't know. But anyway, whatever the deal is. Like, I watch Loverfella, so like maybe you wanna like, I watched Loverfella and Waddles, and when he was making Minecraft videos all the time, Unspeakable, and Preston Plays, and Brand Plays, and did I say Waddles? I probably said Waddles, but if not, and Waddles, and there's Amazing, or Amazing, I don't know. Anyway, and there's some other people, and I'm so sorry I can't remember your name off the top of my head at the moment. But there's like two more guys I watch. But anyway, I used to watch, I think it was iStream, but the problem is that he was too loud for me. That was, like, I kind of liked watching his videos. It's just that they were too loud. I'm at home with 3 cats all day, so loud noises kind of get to me. So yes, so when I was recording the parade, I was literally wearing my my noise canceling headphones that don't want to connect to anything anymore. I can't remember what. JVL, I think, makes them. Anyway, they're freaking awesome during a parade, as long as you're not right next to the bandstand. Although I wished I had been, because once again, people are looking at me. I mean, looking at us, or standing in front of us. Like, looking at us like we shouldn't be recording this. We should just be enjoying it. And it's like, well, I want to share it with others. And then this one lady, through like the first 2 or 3 videos, she's standing in the way. She did not care that the little 4-year-old or 5-year-old, or whatever she was trying to watch the parade too. She didn't care. She's like, I'm watching the parade. She didn't really have that look on her face, like, I'm watching the parade, but that was her attitude, so. Anyway, she did not care. And there's evidence of that, because did I do the top? Yeah. Okay. Anyway, there's evidence of that on my video. videos. I am sorry. I don't know why all of a sudden my breathability is going right into this microphone. Okay. First, we're going to have the other one. Because when you're having Reese's peanut butter cups, of course, there's two of them. So, okay. I'm gonna toss this. I know, I should probably wait until I got both of them eaten. But the other one's a Kit Kat, and I'm gonna try not to eat it on stream. Yeah, because Kit Kats go crunch. Okay, just a minute. Of course, it's gotta be right where I can't read it. Okay, there we go. Okay, somebody was, first time chatter. Yeah, somebody's a first time chatter, and I think it's Kyle James 1. And they were telling me what their Discord name is, so I could add them to my Discord, and we can talk about what he was talking about in his chat just now. Only problem is I really don't have any money. If I could get my viewers to buy my books, then I would be able to have some money. And like one of my ultimate goals that is, totally frivolous. I've got the really good goals of making sure that the local food bank has good, decent in date food that tastes, that still tastes good and all that. Um, and I want to eradicate cancer um, through donating to cancer research. I want to find that one size fits all, cure all. Doesn't matter what nationality you are, it works for everybody. Um, to get rid of cancer, you know, and it works on every single type. Or, or maybe it's like, maybe it's like beauty products where you got the lipstick and the mascara and the eyeshadow, and I don't wear makeup, so I remember these from way back when. But in the foundation, like maybe you got one specifically that eradicates all breast cancers, and you got another one that, like if you got throat cancer, you take this pill and you're all good. Or, like you got, some kind of brain cancer. I don't think that's exactly how it was said, but like you got brain cancer and you take this pill and it's all gone and you're all better. And you're just like you were before. Um and brain tumors, we got to get rid of those too. And uh and it's not a big deal, but like when people have like six, I mean, like six fingers on the right hand, that's got to be weird. Um, if they're all functional, then I guess that's fine. It'd be totally fine. Be interesting, actually. They'd probably have better grip on things. Um, because sometimes people drop stuff because they lose their grip, right? Well, you'd have one more finger to not lose your grip with. Wait, it says Halloween haunts your Discord. Beware your notification sounds have a chilling twist. What notification sounds? I haven't been able to figure out how to put them on there. What are you talking about? Head to your settings if you dare to switch back. Settings are under construction. Of course they are. Really? It says your notification sounds have been changed. That is not true. Because I don't have notification sounds. Because it didn't give me notification sounds. Hmm. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to, talk to them about that because the thing just said notification sounds. Oh, hi. I do not know how to pronounce that, but it's Mauri. First time chatter. Asking if I'm all good. Um, in case you're still on here, um, that's a happy yay, not a yelling. Um, okay, so I got the litter boxes done just before stream. Literally, I came down and it was 7:59. And before that, the two videos, and it was really funny because it would not do it until I tried to load one of them again. But the two videos finally loaded. So I didn't know what number video the tablet was because we recorded some of the parade on my husband's phone too until it overheated. Um, so the ones from the tablet are called 200, 201, 202, 203, 204, possibly 205, but I don't think so. I think they just go to 204. So then, in between my phone and my tablet recording, there was my husband's phone. So we're waiting to see if we can figure out how to get his videos on my YouTube and my videos on his YouTube. I know it sounds weird, but what we're going to do is we're going to have a full list of both sets of videos on both channels. So my husband's channel is Darth Caesar 00. So DARTH, so like Darth Vader. CAESAR. Like Julius Caesar. C E CAEESAR. And the numbers and the number 0 twice, so 00 on YouTube. And on Twitch. And then of course I'm Pirate Author 23 over here on Twitch, but over there on YouTube I am Tina Rash, and I don't know if that's part of it, but when I post when I post a message to somebody it says 7772. But anyway, I'm the Tina Rash with the white sweater and the orange kitten. Dang, that was back in 2011. So, they were born in August. Coral and her sister Nancy. They were born in August of 2011. So they were 2 months old in October. But they were not 2 pounds. And they were not adoptable until they were 2 pounds. And big shout out, I don't know if the store exists anymore, but there was or is a store called Bed Bath & Beyond. And they let us use their bathroom scale on the guys that were actually going to buy one. And had we done that, maybe, had we been able to do that, maybe they'd still be in business, but I seriously doubt it because their prices were way too high for the average Joe. That the average person could not afford that. That is why we shop at Walmart, and Walmart's prices have skyrocketed. I remember when we first got our Walmart back in somewhere in the 90s, somewhere in the 1990s. we got our first Walmart and all the appliances were $5. You wanted a toaster, it was $5. You wanted a I don't know if it was microwaves for $5, but like you want a toaster, you want a electric can opener, um crock pot, all $5. And I want to say that everything else was under that. Was under the $5. Um Probably not the clothes, but well, no, because I can remember when all those holiday shirts were $5. You know, the ones that say, if you knew my family, you'd understand, at Christmas time. Um, or, may have been last year, I bought a shirt that says, um, it's just a little bit of hocus pocus, or, whatever the line is. I know I'm saying it wrong. But the big words on the screen, on the t-shirt are hocus pocus. Um, one year I've got a shirt with the peeps on it. Although I thought it should have been a brighter color. Or like white. Um, anyway, it should not have been gray. Let me put it this way. It's a light gray. It looks nice, but it should not be that color. And I kind of hope my husband went and took some of the Halloween candy with him today because he's starting his new job. And hopefully he'll do very, very well. And, because so far it sounds like it might be a really good job. Except for having to drive. Okay, so he's going to be working at a certain grocery store. And they've got grocery stores all over our area. So, there's a store here in Carson City. There's one in Dayton. There's one in Gardnerville. And somebody said something about Fernley and Fallon too. So, it's going to be a drive, but other than that, I think he'll be doing good. And like if I wanted to, it's not the most interesting thing in the world, really. But if I wanted to, I could kind of tag along, get out of the house, bring the tablet with me so I'll have something to read while he's in the store working. But or like if he's going to Reno, I think there's ones in Reno. I can't remember. But anyway, but like if he's going to Reno, then maybe we could go and have lunch at Red Robin and that's the problem. I don't know if I can eat the croutons. We know I can eat the cheese. Sometimes I don't feel so great when I have the cheese, um, but I've been having cheese places, and I definitely still do not want to risk having the grease and cheese from KFC though. They've got a really good chicken bowl, but it's got cheese in it. Um, it has, has cheese and rice, and it's really good. Except for that, the last time I had it, it, we'll just say it didn't stay in my tummy. And, I there was a lot of grease on it, but I don't think that was all of it. Okay, let's go around. The only thing that we have to do is the driveway, and okay, good. The only thing that we have to do is the driveway and the... Yeah, that's good. Okay, awesome. Um, and putting the door on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm putting the door on. Know why, but I've been a lot. Like, I don't know if I need to take those focus pills or what, but I don't really like taking, uh, like, I'm okay taking medicine, but, like, if I'm, like taking focus pills kind of feels like taking it to be taking it. I mean, if it works, great, but at the moment, I can get that same result, oddly enough. Usually I'm a Coca-Cola girl all the way. But well, no. I like I actually like Pepsi's, or at least I have liked Pepsi's um cherry wild cherry Pepsi more. Um Sadly, I'm I think they've nerfed the cherry because it tasted really awesome before. And now it just tastes like, yeah, whatever. Cherry Coke. The reason why I don't like it is because it's a, yeah, whatever. You know, it vaguely, maybe, kinda tastes slightly different than regular Coke to me. Um, it doesn't taste that different. It's noticeable, but not enough to, like, if I was having a, uh, like, okay, like, I don't think Donald Trump is this dumb, and I hope he's not. I mean, President Donald Trump. Um, I don't think he would make a like, say if I made a bet with him that he could, that he couldn't tell the difference between um Coke and Cherry Coke, that I get $250,000. I don't think he'd make that bet. But if he did, I think that I would definitely be able to get the money. I would not, I don't usually bet. I really don't. Um, like when we used to watch, um, the lotto, and you went on the TV show and you got to spin the wheel and maybe win more money. Um, I'd always guess the numbers. That was my favorite part. guessing the numbers. I was always wrong, but, guess the numbers. And, like I said, I was always wrong. I might get one number out of the whole set. I think one time I got two. But anyway, that's not enough to win. And I don't need, like the $1 million. I just need enough that, well, at the moment, I don't feel like I need $1 million. I just feel like I need enough to get our house paid off. And that's because we've moved so many times. It's not even funny. I don't want to lose this place. And then we can go and save that money aside. We can go and save that money aside and like we could save the money aside and then be able to, well, we need to pay off our parents for one, because we borrowed money from them at some point in time. Like my in-laws helped us get into this place. They didn't want to, but I was basically insisting on it. And it was like, we will pay you back, I swear. But, it's not going to be anytime soon. Well, so they're kind of freaking out because my father-in-law can't seem to get another job. Well, he's got bad eyes. I don't think he should have to get another job. I, I seriously think my mother-in-law should try to get a job at Walmart as a door greeter. She could. I don't think she could handle being a door greeter at Costco, and they seem to be a tight knit group, like family. So I want to. I know some of her limitations, so I don't think she'd be able to do it because she would be having to stand up. She can't do that all the time. But if you're a door greeter at Walmart and, you say, I've got this, and this, they're willing to work with you if you're an older person. Now, if you say that and you look like you're perfectly fine, they're going to give you a big, I don't care. I was going to word it a different way, but that's not streaming friendly, so... Anyway, so let's go back to the Nevada Day Parade. I don't get so upset about that. So like I said, we did part 1 on my phone, the hot air balloons, and then we did part 2 and 3 on his phone, and then we they sang God Bless America. Now, YouTube isn't so smart on that respect. I get that they're trying to make sure that copyrighted songs are not on your video. Now, I did not say, hey, this is my video. I didn't do that. I wouldn't do that. I would say who the person is that sang the song. It doesn't work that way anymore, but, that's what I would say. But I looked it up on Google later, And I realize Google's written by people and it is sometimes flawed. Like if you were trying to translate English into Japanese, it doesn't quite work, says Chris from Park Pass. Which if you like watching Disneyland content, he's your guy. If you like, well, if you like knowing some of the stuff that some of the lore behind your favorite rides and your favorite stores, and like the whole entire park. If you want to know fun facts to know and tell, he's your guy. Now, if you just want to know about, approximately how long you're going to wait in this line over here, if there's this many people in the line at the time, then you want to watch Fresh Baked. Now, that element annoys the heck out of me. Really, because he looks at some of the lines and says, 15 minutes? Nope, I'm out of here. And it's like, that's a short line. You're only going to be waiting 15 minutes. Wow. Or if it's 25 minutes. He's like, nope, walking away. And it's like, you just missed out on a really good ride, because it's probably going to be an hour, hour and 10, hour and a half later. You never know. You actually never know with Disneyland rides, because, it's all dependent on, are these people going to want to go on that ride anytime today? And, when the answer's yes, the answer's yes. But he's done what he calls park science and figured it all out. I also like Attractions Live and Pop's Disney Adventures. Because, Attractions Live, she'll just go and, talk to most everybody in her chat. They all seem to have their favorites, and that kind of bugs me, because, like, if you're new to their channel, you may or may not get talked to, and then all of a sudden, maybe they'll say something real quick to you, and, it just kind of bugs me. Or, like, Lover Fella, and, he's very, very hit and miss on that. He might talk and he might not to whoever's in the chat. He's another YouTube person that I watch. I mean, YouTube. Well, yeah, YouTube, but what I meant was Minecraft. So anyway, we were talking about the Nevada Day Parade, and my husband's got like 14 different videos. I think he said 14 different videos on his phone. So some of it's going to be repeats, but we're going to get as much stuff on there as possible, and we're going to try to watch the video and see if one of his is a repeat. But each of them is going to say Nevada Day Parade 2025, and then whatever number it is out of whatever number it ends up being, because he said about 14. So if we have, I think mine is 9. So yeah, add the 10 from the 14, and that's 19, and then the 4 would make it 23 in total. So if he's right that it's 14, then that's what it's going to be this year. Last year, I think I only had 13, but yeah, so there's going to be like 23 this year. And like I said, we're going to go through and it'll say what device at the and it's going to say the date like always. I do that because like if you're looking for the Nevada Day Parade from 2024, then you're going to understand that it's Nevada Day Parade from 2024 because that's what I put on there. But you're going to be able to tell from the date. Or like if you're trying to follow along with if you're trying to follow along with my Disneyland playthrough, walkthrough, whatever you want to call it, the latest ones that I'm doing, I'm thinking about breaking those up into a playlist of their own, actually, because because I'm doing it a little bit different. The idea is to get the one thing done every single time. So like yesterday it was the Fantasyland Hidden Mickeys. And one of the times it was the native village on the Jungle Cruise. And that one's got the most views. And I'm like, huh? There was some other stuff that I'm like, this was so hard for me. I was hoping that would get a lot of views, but the Native Village Jungle Cruise has gotten the most out of all of those so far. And, I think it's really cool. I really do. Okay, so we're almost done with this roof. Oh, okay. So we're almost done with this block, which is really good. And then we'll go on to the next block, and the next block, and the next block. And this is Street 5, or Jungle Street. I just named them after, the streets in the book are not named, and I think that's kind of stupid, but it's not important to name the streets in the story. And unlike here, okay, so if you go down, we'll call it Street A, because I don't want you to know exactly where my family lives. If you go down Street A, it leads to a spot where you can turn right. I think you have to turn right, But anyway, and then you can either go down Street B to the left or to the right. And if you go down toward the right, you find my dad's house. Um, and then if you go down, it's kind of an L shape. And then if you go down my dad's street, then you end up at Street C. And it goes pretty far. And yeah. So anyway, but the thing is that it's not a through street. If you go right to go toward my dad's house, it makes a like a L shape but rounded. It makes an L shape that goes up to Street C. So, uh, you know, these the streets in when I'm thinking of them in my head, that's what they're supposed to look like. They're supposed to look like people actually live here and all that. Oh, that's what I was trying to figure out. Is this? I don't know why or how did I end up over here? I have no idea. But anyway, I'm set up, ready to go. Well, it needs a roof, but we'll get there later. So if you're new, okay, if you're new to watching me, this is the world for my books. This is where they live when they're not on the pirate ship. Okay, now that we've done that. Anyway, this is where they live during the school year when they're not on the pirate ship. Because they've got a rule that their kids will not be able to go to school in, like they won't be able to go to school in their part of Ireland at all whatsoever unless they are home during the school year. So, no homeschooling, no learning online, any of that stuff. So they had to have a home base, and this is their home base. I think I will show all of you. I think I'll give a tour at some point during this video. But anyway, what I was saying about the Nevada Day Parade is that he's got like 14 videos. We gotta figure out which ones overlap with what I recorded and which ones don't, but they're all going to be labeled Nevada Day Parade 2025, and then as soon as we get the real numbers, because the reason why it all of a sudden says 200, 201, 202, 203, and 204 is because I have no idea what number those are. But we will figure it out. We will figure it out. I really, really, really want to figure that out, but his phone is with him at work, which makes sense. Yeah, it's perfectly fine. I'm happy about that. I'm a little frustrated that it's there and not here because I would have totally loaded his videos for him if if the phone was here, I would have been able to do that. And yeah, I got kind of frustrated because we went and loaded every single one of the videos, And then two of them did not finish loading until today. But our internet hasn't been as fast as it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be 5G. It's supposed to be super fast. It's supposed to be awesome. It's supposed to be able to handle our 16 devices, apparently. Um, two phones, two TVs, two Xboxes, two home devices, uh, two phones, two tablets, and some smart light bulbs. Yeah, we didn't realize how much stuff we had on there until we started adding it up, and we're like, you know, I started adding it up, and I'm like, that's 10. And then the guy said, and six smart light bulbs, and I'm like, oh, okay. I really wish that my husband would just buy some regular light bulbs, the ones that are supposed to last 10 years. Um, cause the ones that, I mean, the light that we need the most is my light. Well, that has a regular light bulb in it. I don't have to worry about that. It was nice for a while to be able to go HG, turn on my light, but it wasn't reliable. Like all of a sudden it would say, "What'd you say?" Oh, excuse me. Its version of "What did you say?" is, "I don't understand." So then all of a sudden I'd be like yelling at it, and I'm sure my blood pressure was going up and up and up and up and up. And yeah, we're like, just no. I want a regular light bulb, like a regular person. So we did that, and I've been a lot happier. I still have to get up to turn on and off my light, but you know, that's the only annoying thing when I go to bed is that I have to go and turn, uh, turn off my light, and then I have to, figure out how I'm getting over to my chair because I sleep in my chair. I do not sleep upstairs with my husband. There's two reasons for that. One, my back is messed up, and I had scoliosis or have scoliosis. So like when I'm in my chair, my back's like, "Oh, cool. We're good." But when I was sleeping on our bed before, when we like first moved in, my back was like, "Ow." And I could not figure out why. And yeah, now we've got one of those adjustable ones, but it only adjusts, it adjusts as a couple, not as a individual. Like, I think it's a sleep number bed. And I am always wondering, okay, I know that this is kind of stupid to wonder, but when the husband gives the wife kisses, do they sleep on the one side or the other side? Because you can't sleep in the middle. I mean, do you give those kisses on the one side or do you give the kisses on the other side? You know, which one? Because you can't give them in the middle because the middle's that that spot where it um has all the lifty doodles to lift up the. Well, I guess that's like underneath the butt. But anyway, whatever. There's a hard spot there. Um. So, which one is it? I know that's a silly thing to think about, but seriously. So speaking of that, I went and got a. I didn't want to do it. I was procrastinating for the longest time, but it makes sense. Oh, I got 3 viewers. Hi, viewers. Anyway, it makes sense to have a guy character and a girl character in GTA. Um, because um, with my girl character, I may have to go up and stop a fight. With my girl character, you know, people want to pick on her because she's the girl character. She's got, she's got a red Duke of Death. Yes, that's the name of the car. And she's got, she's got one for just about every color of the rainbow. Or at least she has had at one time. So, purple, green, lime, yellow, white, red, blue, um, all kinds of different, um, yeah, all kinds of different colors. And she's, got like one of each somewhere, or has had one of each somewhere. I think it's in the uh in the one of the business buildings. Like, I had it to where I had like, hold on. Okay. No, that still feels like my hair is okay, it feels like my hair is cushioned between my ear and my headphone, and I don't know how true that is, but that's what it feels like. Um anyway, I had it to where what's the matter? No is not an answer to what's the matter. Now he's thinking about it. Yeah, now he's thinking about it. He's like, how do I get Mama to understand why I'm upset? Did your brother steal the top spot again? Yeah, he's not answering now. Yeah, so we got a cat tree upstairs in their bedroom. Makes sense. Cat room, cat tree, And lately, it used to be that the top spot was Ben's all the time, no matter what, and Sam understood that. Well, now he's been going, I want the top spot too. And yeah. So they've been having minor fights, and then I guess Sam's been losing, so he comes down here and starts whining. Anyway, something I gotta do after stream here is fill up the feeders again. Yeah, we free feed our cats. I know everybody says that's a bad thing, but our cats know when it's time to eat. Well, Sam sometimes eats anyway, but he was a stray cat before we got him. Or, well, he was way too sweet to actually be a stray cat, so maybe he wasn't. Or maybe he was a stray cat and he just really, really liked us. I don't know. Whatever happened, um, the DOG chased him and he's been ours ever since. And I thought it was really weird though because this one neighbor said something about his cat Sam, and then all of a sudden, uh, he used to let him outside apparently, and just one day he didn't come back, and I thought that was so weird because we named we named the little black streak kitty cat. You would never believe it was the same cat. Um, anyway, we named him Sam, and then the guy was saying that he had uh, lost a cat named Sam. And I was like, oh no, we're gonna have to give him back. But, but, he didn't say anything. Like, I think that's my cat. So, and I didn't think to ask the guy, when did you lose him? But he seemed to like our house anyway. Like, he never wanted to go outside because there was DOGs outside. But we'd try to take them out for a walk every once in a while. And that's something I wanted, if we can, that's something I want to do. Maybe tomorrow. I want to do it today, but we don't have it set up today. Um, I want to be able to take Bobby out for a walk. She she loves looking out at the world outside, but she's not allowed outside because a couple of times when she lived with my sister, she got out and they had no idea where she was. And even though um, she's got the tags and everything, we need to change that out because if somebody finds her here, they're gonna be like, how the heck did she get from Southern California to here? So we need to go and get her different tags. we're gonna get it done at one of the pet stores. Okay, now okay, I do got a dumb question. How much more? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. Dang. 34. Okay. Well, let's go back and try to continue. Yeah, so he said like 14 video. At first he was like, maybe about 9. And then he found out there's like 14 of them, and I'm like, oh man. And then, like I said, we got to go and figure out which ones, uh, which one's which, you know, because he was recording it too, and and it's kind of like the tall people view and the short people view. Except I think he was slouching. But, yeah, it was like the tall people view and the short people view of the same stuff. So, but we did use his phone to, uh, we had his phone on the tripod, which next year I totally apologize. I will have the tablet on the tripod. And the reason why we had the phone upright is because we were trying to do the air show here at the airport, and I tried to go and record it sideways like it was supposed to be, uh, full screen, and it didn't do it. It recorded everything sideways. So I do apologize for that. I'm trying to give you good content here, and all of a sudden something screws up and messes up, and it's not good content. So I was like, okay, we'll go with the winner, and then you'll notice that all of a sudden it gets widescreen and it's a lot better. Well, except for that it was handheld, not tripod. Um, I love my tripod. It's actually a uh, it's a tripod from like the year 2000. I used to put uh, my Sony Handycam on the tripod and record, like um like record the birthday parties, and um I would have I would have recorded Thanksgiving. I I was so happy that we had like I was so happy that we had pictures from Christmas way back when, and I mean, my goodness, they're adults now, but my cousins Charlie and Danny, they were like 4 and 5, or 3 and 4, some maybe they're 3 and 5. I don't know, something. They're really close in age. Um, they're brothers. Um, anyway, they're really close in age, and they were going out there to get on the porch swing. Uh, you know, Grandma had a big porch, and maybe one of these days I'll try to build that in Minecraft. I don't know if I can do it, but I'll try. Grandma had a really nice house. Now some other family lives in it. Because they didn't want to, they didn't want to cause a big problem between, in the family, so they decided to sell it. And and Grandma's house was unique because it actually had a window that went from the kitchen to the side door. Like you could go in through the front door, and you went right into the living room, and if you went left after a little bit, you could go into the kitchen and the dining area. I don't know if you would call it a dining room because it didn't have like a separate wall to it or anything, but you could go to the kitchen and the dining area, and then if you continued straight from the front door, there was actually a nook in the wall for the telephone. Back when rotary phones were uh, all the rage. You go in and apparently a lot of people got hurt, so they started making the ones with buttons. But a rotary phone is a house phone. Um, I know, such a weird concept, a house phone. But yeah, it's a house phone. So, and I think in an emergency, like say the electricity went out, um, you've actually got a better deal with a house phone because with your cell phone, you got to worry about the phone dying. And, like if all of a sudden the electricity's out and there's an earthquake or something like that, and then, uh, like say a bookshelf falls over and hurts somebody, you wouldn't necessarily be able to call 911 because you're just talking to your friend Sally for 6 hours. Actually, if you can talk to your friend Sally for 6 hours, that's a really good cell phone battery, I think. But yeah, I'm always worried when the electricity's out that there's gonna be um yeah, that my cell phone's gonna die and there's gonna be an emergency. That's just the way my weird mind works. Um, okay. Yeah, so all of the Nevada Day videos, they're going to be labeled Nevada Day 2025, whatever number they are out of whatever number we figure out is the number. So you'll notice that it says, one of, and then it just goes on to the date. Um, or no, yeah. It says like 201 of, and then it goes on to the date. Yeah, there will be a number there eventually, just not right now because we don't know yet. But like I said, we're trying to put all of the videos on both of our channels because we're both there, and I'm pretty sure I've got some viewers that he does. Well, I know I have some viewers that he doesn't, and he might have some viewers that I don't. So, so if you're like subscribed to both channels and you're like, I just watched that Nevada Day Parade, just hang in there. We will come up with new content afterwards. Um, but yeah, um, one of my viewers was like, I love it when do stuff where you're just walking downtown and talking to the camera, and it's like, wow, really? It's totally cool, and you know I was like making those videos just because I thought that it might be something that somebody would like. And one time we had to go down to um I want to say it was Carson Service Center, because our truck was in the shop, and I just wanted to get out of the house. So I don't know if I was being heard on the video because I can't remember right now, but we just walked all the way down there, and we're in the middle of town. They're the north end of town, So it's a good at least 2 miles walk, probably. And we decided to do that. Me and my husband. And I decided to stream it. And I was just, I was pointing out shops that we have, um, and saying if anybody wants to, pay me to actually do this, we'll do an inside tour. I wouldn't mind. I, uh, oh, I wanted to ask the lady if I could like, do a video for her shop. Um, I don't know if it's her shop or if it's like state owned or city owned, something like that. I just know it's a Nevada gift shop. So I'm like, I kind of wanted to make a video, because I kept having to go into her shop real quick to turn my tablet back on because I didn't want to record with the um I did not want to record the dead space between pieces of parade because you know they leave a bunch of space and I don't know why. And it's funny. The announcer makes fun of it. Makes fun of it a little bit. He's like, and now there's some dead space, but we're gonna fill it up with this. Like last year it was, um, they started playing "Who Let the Dogs Out" and some other songs that I know should have been copyrighted, but for some reason they weren't. But this year, YouTube was like really cracking down, I guess. And well, you couldn't. I mean, you couldn't hear all of "Who Let the Dogs Out" anyway. But um, and I was right next to the announcer's booth at that point, so you should have been able to. But he didn't play the whole thing. I guess is what I mean. Um, but this year they were like really cracking down, I guess, because they made up stuff. Because I looked it up on Google, Martina McBride does not play "God Bless America." I mean, she doesn't sing it, according to Google. According to Google, if she does, with somebody from her team or maybe even her, that would be really cool. Let me know, please. But yeah, there was nobody singing that song. It was playing. Although I remember somebody singing that song, and then I did the playback, and it was just the music. So there was no way it was Martina McBride. Now, if she would like to record that, that'd be great. I remember she's a good singer. But she's also the one that sings Independence Day. Now, that's a great song for 4th of July on the surface, but if you think about the exact words that are in the song, it's not a very nice song. Cause it's saying that she went to the fairgrounds to hang out at the carnival and stuff because she didn't have nothing better to do because her parents are at home fighting and she didn't want to be there. And she specifically says that's the summer that she just seemed to be in the way all the time. And then somewhere in that fight, somewhere in the fight between her parents, they get unalived, as people put it. And, she's going to go home and she's going to be like totally traumatized, for one, because her parents aren't alive anymore. And then on top of that, she's going to have to go to a foster home or go live with Auntie, or Auntie's going to have to come to the house to live with her, or maybe an uncle, or some kind of relative. Maybe she'd get lucky to have that 18-year-old cousin who was gonna go and live with them for a little while anyway, because she's starting college. But it never says what's gonna happen to the kid. But you do know that the parents' argument got that out of hand. But all people ever seem to hear is, "Let freedom ring." You know? If you actually listen to the words of that song, it's horrible. I'm sorry, I can't hear the Independence Day part because I'm hearing the story. People don't think of that. I mean, I know that people lost their lives to give us our freedom for this country, but that's a horrible song. If you listen to the real, if you listen to the words, it's a horrible song because it's not talking about those soldiers. It's talking about a little girl who lost her parents and lost life as she knows it. I mean, because I'm guessing that I just hope that it didn't actually happen to her or somebody she knows. I hope it's a fictional kid with fictional problems. 'Cause that makes it even worse if you know that it actually really happened. Anyway, I'm sorry if I just ruined that song for you. Like my mother-in-law ruined Charlie Brown. You know, I was always kind of feeling sorry for Charlie Brown. He needs candy too, but he's always going, "I got a rock." So it turns out that the year that the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown came out, a whole bunch of people, a whole bunch of kids, they said, made sure that Charlie Brown could have some candy by sending a ton of candy to Charles Schultz. And you know that your character is that loved if a whole bunch of kids hear that all he got was a rock for Christmas. I mean, for Halloween. And they never do say what he got for Christmas. But anyway, um, you know, you know that your character's loved when they hear that all he got was a bunch of rocks for Halloween. And they step in and try to make sure that he's got some candy. Which That was one of the things at the Nevada Day Parade. This one guy, I don't even know what the guy's name is, but anyway, he was giving candy out, and all of a sudden, every single kid from the area, it seemed like, went over there and wanted to get the candy from him. They didn't care what it was, as long as it was candy. Okay. So I think after this, I'm getting lunch. And then I'm going to work on my story. So I did make up for that. I did not have Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy done on Saturday because we were not home during stream time. Um, because it was Nevada. It was the Nevada Day Parade. So, like I said, we got a little bit of the craft fair. We didn't get the whole thing because they weren't all set up yet, but yeah, we got a little bit of the craft fair, and we got like nobody had signs up even. At the airport, they all had signs up saying, this is the store that we have, and and a little sample of what they sell. Well, this one, they just had people that had, like they had people had made jewelry, and people that had come up with um clothes, and a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, coasters. So this guy said that his coasters were like $5 or $6 or $10 or something like that. Anyway, some ridiculous thing. And I'm like thinking per coaster because he said the coasters are. And then he explained it was a set of coasters with whatever logo it was on there. If I remember correctly, sports teams. And I can't look it up right now because that's one of the ones that was on my husband's phone, and it was dead after we were, after we got home. So, well, dead or dying, I'm not sure which. Um, anyway, it got to the dead zone and had to be charged. So I couldn't go and put. You'll notice that my Nevada Day Parade videos literally say 1, 4, 5, 6, and then skip to 200 because I didn't know what number to put in there. Because my husband said that he had made a lot of little videos. And I'm like, well, how many? And he's like, I don't know. And then he looked it up and it was like 14. So I'm not going with that. I will figure out exactly what it is when, when we can. And then I will adjust the numbers for the tablet version. Yeah, they're all gonna say whether they're on tablet or my phone or my husband's phone, which I think people will appreciate because you'll be able to see the difference. Um, the two phones are actually the same version, so they will probably look roughly the same. Um, but the tablet, that tablet we got like in 2019, 2020, um, somewhere in there. I don't know. We've had it for a long time. Let's just put it that way. We've had that for a long time. And I think it did really good. I could not tell the whole entire time I was recording with the tablet though what I was recording until all of a sudden something was moving on the screen. I could not tell. And I was pretty dang happy when we got to um the family in front of us. I was so afraid they're going to lose their daughter. She kept just walking off. She's like one or two. No concept of I could get kidnapped. You know, um, she'd just walk up to random kids and start. Uh, I don't know if she could really talk. She's at that uh, she's at that stage where she's trying to figure out how to say stuff. I guess. Anyway, she kept walking away, and finally the parents got tired of it, and or it was nap time, I'm not sure which. They didn't bring the stroller that I'm assuming they have. I'm assuming. But they didn't bring the stroller, so she kept walking off, and I'm like, if they don't lose her by the end of this, I'm going to be very surprised. And they didn't. And I did say it loud enough for them to hear because I thought they should be keeping an eye on their kid better. Especially with a bunch of strangers around there. But, yeah, it's okay. So, so yeah, we're going to try to get those videos up today, but if we can't, then we will certainly figure it out for, um, by the end of the week. So, like, by Sunday. Like I said, it's probably gonna be the same for some of it, but I still think it would be great to show, every single video. Oh, we were sitting next to a guy who owns some of the horses that were in the parade. I can't remember what part it was, but oh, I think the Reno Rodeo. Reno Rodeo. I think he owns some of those horses. And I thought it was a pretty good thing. We actually had somebody to talk to a little bit here and a little bit there. But that was the small problem. Everybody was talking. You could barely hear what the people in the announcers I don't want to say announcer's booth, but we'll call it that for now. Anyway, you could barely hear the people in the announcer's booth. There was so many people talking. It's like, it's a parade. Hello? Totally different standards between California and Nevada for parades. I remember, you know, maybe I'm remembering wrong, but I think I remember that, everybody actually got quiet and watched it in California where we used to live. But like I said, maybe I'm crazy. But yeah, it was just like everybody was talking. We were, for the most part, being quiet, just watching the parade, and at times wishing that we could understand what the announcer booth person was talking about because there was times when it was so quiet. Last year, everything super loud, blasting your ears off. Of course, I was standing right next to the announcer's booth, so there's a reason for that. I think what they needed to do is um have buildings with even if it's just Wi-Fi speakers. Ooh, I just thought of that. Yeah. I mean, it may not work because the internet in our town isn't that great, but and you would think it would be because it's the state capital. Reno is not the state capital. Unless they changed it, but they're always saying Carson City is the state capital, so I'm gonna go with that. Yeah, and that's weird because like normally a state knows exactly when it came into the Union, the United States. They're like, okay, we were here in 1869, and we were here in 1870, and we've been since 1776 or whatever. And they always know what day. But for Nevada, apparently nobody wrote it down properly, or or there was a bunch of different witnesses that remember a different thing, something like that. Because I've heard anywhere between October 26th, October 27th, October 28th, October 29th, October 30th, and October 31st. Most people say October 31st. But, whatever day it is, one year it messed up Halloween because everybody was expecting to pass out candy on Halloween, and they ended up doing it. Um, they like ended up doing it on they either did it on the 30th or the 1st of November. I can't remember which. And I know one year it was on the 1st of November, so we'll go with that. It was the 1st of November. And it was so weird. I was thinking I want to go back to California where I know where Halloween is. It's like just because you became a state on Halloween does not give you the right to change the day that people trick or treat. It just doesn't. And kids always look forward to that so much, and I don't know what the kids thought of them changing it. They probably thought as long as I get to trick or treat, but what if there'd been that kid that you know that kid that had been looking forward to that forever, and then finds out that it's the next day. They probably would have been crying, and it totally ruined it for them because somebody decided to have Nevada Day on Halloween. Anyway, whatever. Um, so, like I said, I want to work on my story today. For one, it's 15 chapters, so I was gonna work on it on Saturday. Well, as soon as we got home, I was gonna have lunch and then work on it on Saturday. But I got sunburnt and I was feeling yucky, and you know, when I get sunburned, I just kind of feel blah, and that wasn't a fun feeling. And I found out today, I looked at my arms today. There's a good part of my arm that is not sunburnt. It's just in the one spot on both my arms. There's one spot where it is red because it's sunburnt, and then um oh, and lower than my arms, but yeah, we're not gonna discuss on this stream. Um anyway, I got sunburnt in some inconvenient places. Like the back of my neck. Okay, so I usually wear my black baseball cap when I go outside. Baseball hat, whatever you want to call it. It's not actually a baseball hat. It's just styled like one. I got a dumb question. This way. Okay. We're going toward okay. So I guess we have to work on this too. But anyway, I got like totally sunburned. It was not fun. One, two, three, four, five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. The sunburn part wasn't fun, but also the loading of all those videos. Oh my goodness. Oh, hi. So, Orange Frog 66. Okay, so Orange Frog 66 is a first time chatter and hopefully they'll follow. Oh, yeah, speaking of that, if you're watching me on Twitch right now, please follow and chat. If you're watching me on YouTube right now, please like and share and comment, subscribe, and notification bell. And, oh, and I write books too. I don't just do this. Let's get this out of the way first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. I try to make that as interesting as possible because I know it's kind of boring watching somebody count that count that many times. So anyway, I've got 6 books that I have published with Amazon, and so there will be some links in the description below. One link for each book. So, Pirate's Daughter's got its own link and Misfortune's got its own link, and, just pick a book. It'll take you right to it on Amazon. And, they come in hardback, paperback, and ebook. And they are the Rolling Sea Beginnings Book 1, Pirate's Daughter, the Rolling Sea Beginnings Book 2, Misfortune, the Rolling Sea Beginnings Book 3, Hard Times, the Rolling Sea Traitor Book 1, that's later in the series. It's just, the Beginnings and Traitor, that's just, different sections of the same series. And they will connect eventually one of these days. Anyway, so the Rolling Sea Beginnings Book 1, the Rolling Sea Traitor Book 1, Esperanza's Party, the Rolling Sea Traitor Book 2, The Island, and a separate series called Adopted, and the first book is Quarrel. That one's a children's book. And I'm trying to make it as easy for kids to read on their own as possible. If I failed miserably, please let me know. I hope I didn't. But, and then coming soon, hopefully soon, hopefully before December 1st, if not somewhere in December. That's my hope. Before December 1st, my next goal is before Christmas. My next goal after that, if I fail miserably, is Valentine's Day. And then my next goal, if I fail miserably, is St. Patrick's Day. And if it goes out until Easter, really, shame on me. But those are my current goals for getting the Rolling Sea beginnings. I mean, the Rolling Sea Traitor book 4 lessons in love. Three, three, book 3. Sorry. Um, I'm trying to get the Rolling Sea Traitor book 3 lessons in love out by December 1st. um, and then, like I said, if it goes all the way out to Easter, shame on me. Shame on me. That would be, you know, or like if it went out to 4th of July, even, you know. And I gave myself this goal. Um, it's not like I've got a deadline or anything. Self-published with Amazon, so you know, I make myself these deadlines that I'm trying to get done. After that, I'm either going to be. I think I've got my heart set on working